To give some perspective on this, let's bring in David Castrillon Kerrigan, research professor from Universidad Externado de Colombia. David, welcome to the show, and let's start from the wider point of view. Could you help us better understand what China-CELAC Forum was about?
This was the fourth ministerial meeting of the China-CELAC Forum. It has been 10 years now since the founding of the China-CELAC Forum. And at its core, the forum is about bringing together countries from the global south, developing countries that face similar challenges and that have the same expectations about the future. These are countries that want to combat climate change. These are countries that are focused on development. These are countries that have a lot in common. And part of the point of this meeting then was to think ahead. Very important, especially at this time of so much uncertainty, of so much aggression by some other countries around the world.
And David, which Latin Americans do you see as leading at a continental level?
All countries are contributing in their own way. Of course, we have major countries from the continent who have a very ample, robust voice on global affairs. Brazil, of course, as a member of BRICS, and as a regional superpower. We then have other countries, smaller, but who have also their own voice in important matters, like Barbados and others that have, although they may be small, they have positioned certain items on the global agenda, like the fight on climate change. And then we have a country like Colombia, a country that for a long time didn't have much of a ambitious foreign policy, but since the arrival of President Petro to power, he has spoken a lot about issues like peace and the importance of peace. And again, the transition towards new energies. These are issues in which Colombia and China also have a lot in common.
Yes, and President Gustavo Petro of Colombia visited China recently, and how will the latest rounds of agreements and talks between Colombia and China change the relationship?
Definitely, the relation has entered a new stage, a new, higher, definitely exciting stage after years of certain distance. Colombia, for decades, if not almost close to a century, had been very closely aligned to the US and to other countries in the global north, but especially since the 2008-2009 financial crisis. The governments at the time realized that there was a lot of vulnerability to Colombia from depending so much on so few. And since then, 15 years or so, we have had successive presidencies, successive presidents, both from the right and from the left of the ideological spectrum, seeking a more diversified foreign policy. And as part of this, there has been a great, it's an ample society-wide consensus on the importance of developing closer ties to China. Now, during this visit, President Petro signed the agreement through which Colombia adheres to the Belt and Road Initiative. In this way, Colombia becomes country number 22, number 23, 24 in the region that has joined the Belt and Road Initiative. And we're very excited about the prospects, especially at this time when the US has turned its back on the world.
And David, what do you see in the future? How do you expect the Colombian economy to evolve after this?
Well, we see what other countries, other neighbors of us have, the path that they have tread in these past years. Colombia is not the first country in the region to join the Belt and Road Initiative. In fact, it's one of the last to do so. But other countries have kind of shown the path ahead. Peru, Chile are they're very interesting countries in the way that they have gotten closer to China. And since the two countries signed free trade agreements, and since the two countries joined the Belt and Road Initiative, they have seen significant increases in their exports to China, and they have seen very interesting changes in what they export to China. There may have been a time when those countries, their export structures centered especially around commodities with, low value added. But now we see countries like Chile exporting a lot of wine, for example, or Peru exporting a lot of textiles based on llama wool. So here in Colombia, we're also very we're looking forward to what we can do, how we can, for example, insert ourselves in global production chains around the production of electric vehicles, a sector in which China is a global leader, or how we may, end up exporting more to the country in attracting Chinese tourists to our country, the country of beauty. There's a lot of excitement, but also a lot of decisiveness on not waiting for things to happen, but making things happen now with China.
David Castrillon Kerrigan, thank you very much. Great having you.
A pleasure.